What was it like writing this book? Did you enjoy getting entrenched in this very cold world you created? I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're taking you deep behind enemy lines with an amazing book, a powerful book. It is called Red Ice, a Cold War thriller, and it's written by one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite guests. His name is Roger Crossland. The book is based on chilling realism and firsthand experience. This gripping novel follows a former Navy SEAL who assembles a daring rescue mission into the frozen heart of Siberia. With high stakes action aboard submarines, through snow caves, and across icy waters, Red Ice is a pulse pounding tale of loyalty, strategy, and survival. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us once again here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Bookside Press for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below the interview. Roger, thank you so much for joining us once again here today on Spotlight.
Oh, I'm very glad to be here.
This is a powerful book, very, very real. Tell us a little bit about Red Ice. Give us a brief overview
Uh,
for the folks who haven't read it.
Well, Red Ice is a tale of hopeless imprisonment uh, in the Soviet Siberian Gulag archipelago. In its unforgiving sub-zero temperatures, in its frigid water and dry snow, it's in the Cold War, and it's against cold odds that this undertaking, known as Red Ice, uh, is addressed. Uh, Now, I talk about allusions to cold. Thankfully, Guy Durham, author of Stealth, uh, uh, described the book as Red Ice is Red Hot, and I'm proud for an endorsement like that. Uh, uh, Robin Moore said also that it was a first-class war novel, exciting, terse, and a page turner for sure. It's about a Russian writer, Kurganov, who bears an uncanny similar background to Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and who wants to rescue his mentor. Kurganov is in the States, and Vyshinsky is in a gulag labor camp. And he wants to bring this captivity to a halt before Kurganov, before excuse me, uh, Wyszynski, uh, his end comes prematurely. So it's a matter of time and unforgiving cold and redemption of the fellow who takes on the task to rescue Wyszynski, and that's a cashiered naval officer, Quillen Fraser, who's a self-exiled expatriate and very competent SEAL officer. The objective of the rescue is to save Wyszynski before his premature death. And they only have 6 months to plan it and execute it. And they've got to get there, which is always a special operations concern, that you want the element of surprise, and you want to come from a direction and in a manner that's unexpected. And as you read through the book, you get a sense of what it's like to plan a special operations mission, and how very often there's a lot of negotiating, a lot of research. It's not you just get a phone call and grab your gear and you're off. Uh, Not really, not in the real world. If it's worth doing, it takes a good deal of time doing it.
A lot of planning that goes involved as well. And in the real world, That's an important phrase because your stories are born out of the real world. You're a real life Navy SEAL, or at least you were, and an attorney. Like to say you're a Renaissance man. You've done it all. And it really informs your work. I mean, this is real life stuff that we're reading about, fictionalized, of course, but everything that you write about in your book could happen and would be the way it'd be carried out, right?
Yes, yes. I'm grateful for a lot of readers uh, uh, noticing that there's an air of authenticity and a feeling for little bits of information that could only come from someone who's done operations like this and has been trained for operations like this.
Have you pictured Red Ice as a film?
Eh, Oh yes, oh yes. Uh, It, it, if you can get some those Hollywood people out where it's cold, but I would think it'd make a great movie. And I always thought of it in the back of my head. Uh, and uh, I'm volunteering to be a second, or if they need bodies to put out there in the snow. But of course, there are not many people out there, so you don't
Yeah.
need too many extras. I use second. Extras was the word I
Right, right.
really
Well,
mean.
you know what? You know what they need on the set, and usually the most important person on the set is the writer. You know, we always think of the director as the most important person. It really is the writer. So you've done the hard part. You've written the story. You would be there making sure that they helped follow through on your vision. So I think that would be a role, and that would be a great one. We need to find a young Sean Connery to play one of the parts in the movie, no doubt. You mean a real hero, you know what I mean?
Yeah, at best, I could only play an old Sean Connery.
That's funny. That's funny. So, what was it like writing this book? Did you enjoy getting entrenched in this very cold world you created?
Well, I live what I write. I got maps in a little shop in New York City that can give you maps all over the world. And during this period, I was getting a lot of winter warfare training
Mm.
uh, with the Green Berets, and I picked up a few points there. I mean, SEALs don't have a monopoly on all special operations, um, and uh, one of my instructors was from Lithuania. So I could pick up a few other points from him, but it as I could just see it was all Vietnam veterans in this period I wrote this were mostly Vietnam veterans, and here I found. I said, nobody's written anything like this. Other than Ice Station Zebra, there weren't many cold weather military stories, and there still aren't. Uh, though these days it's become very interesting. Greenland is now a focus. So there may be a few stories, and maybe that's the place we do the movie.
Exactly, exactly. It would be it's a great setting for a film actually because, you know, it's always man versus man, man versus nature, man versus himself. Man versus nature alone, working in an environment like that is a matter of survival, correct?
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
correct. You can't make a mistake. There's no warm place to go.
Yeah.
You've got to plan out every hour of what you're about to do and figure out where your equipment's going to be and what can be happening to it. Things like radios, the batteries go. Uh, and if you get a little sweaty, that sweat freezes. So yes, it's not an impulse style of warfare. You had better plan every single item you put in your pack or in your polk, the sled you pull with you, uh, and can't forget anything.
When you were in the SEALs, where were you deployed? Were you deployed overseas? Were you here stateside?
Oh, I was deployed in Vietnam, Korea, uh, in the Philippines, and then at different times, Scotland and Korea again, quite a few times during my reserve period. Uh,
Amazing.
but
How many years were you in the SEALs?
35 years,
Wow.
active and reserve. That's active and reserve. It isn't
Right.
all active.
Yeah.
Um,
Once you were out of it, did you miss it? I mean, that kind of adventure, it's sort of like they say the fighter pilots of World War II, when they came home, everything else seemed boring. Is everything else boring once you leave the SEALs?
Well, I find myself adventures. I swam across the Hudson River twice in the last few years,
Wow.
and 3.5 miles from New Jersey to the Battery. And I keep in touch, and I do obstacle course races, and I you said a former SEAL. There are no former SEALs. You're a SEAL, period. And it's just you don't get paid anymore. But then I get a pension, so I suppose I do get paid. Uh,
Oh, we salute you and thank you for your service, particularly with this upcoming weekend of Memorial Day. Thank you for 35 heroic years of service. Let me ask you about your writing. You've just completed this book. You're working on the next. It seems like you go from one project to the next.
yes, I'm working on one that's it's historical. Seals haven't been invented in the next book that's coming on, and it's set in China and the South Pacific during the first year of World War One.
Sounds wonderful. That sounds like a wonderful premise, wonderful setup for a story. What's your take on today's warfare? I mean, we've got, craziness in the Middle East and craziness in Ukraine and Russia. What's your prediction on Russia and Ukraine? Will they come to a peace deal soon? Um, any thoughts?
Wow. Now that's the question. How much time have we got? I favor Ukraine because their special operations were superior, and it's their country they're fighting for. It's not going to be easy, and they've lost. They don't have the numbers the Russians do. But I think, and I'm going to stick my neck out here. I think the word tariff is going to sober Putin up. And it's going to be diplomacy as well as uh, going to arms. Uh, if 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 Putin just runs out of money, uh, he can't win. And uh, and if he and both China are hobbled by tariffs, that creates perhaps uh, uh, a faction for optimism.
Well, we certainly hope it gets resolved there soon. It seems like the president would like to resolve it as soon as possible. I think most people in the world would like to see it resolved as soon as possible and wish it had never erupted in the first place.
I
This
agree.
book, yeah, the book we've been talking about today, folks, is wonderful. It is realistic, it is thrilling, and it is the writing of a true Navy SEAL. The name of the book is Red Ice. It's a Cold War thriller written by Roger Crossland under the pen name R L Crossland. So look for that when you're looking for the book. The links are also below this interview. It is an explosive, high stakes rescue mission that takes readers to the edge of survival and back. Roger, thank you so much for joining me once again here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time, sir, your wisdom, and your insight. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.